Hey there, film fans. I'm Jeff.
I'm Dave.
And I'm John, and welcome back to The Love of Cinema, a pod in which we'll challenge one another to discuss movies, both new and old, with strictly positive critical eyes.
That's right. And to avoid lazy negativity, we decided to make this episode a drinking game.
For real.
Yes.
So anytime we say anything negative at all about this film, about each other, about how Dave is always forbidden from tomboy foolery, you're going to hear this sound. That sound means we're taking a drink, and we hope you drink along with us.
So, pour yourselves a glass, crack a tinny, pop your goon. We're going to Australia, where if you hear a pan flute in the forest, you fucking run.
Right.
Cheers.
Dude, pan flutes are our banjos. Pan flutes are our banjos.
My first note, boy, do they give you that pan flute early. That's what I said right away. Friends, if you're new to the show, we are The Love of Cinema. That's right, The Love of Cinema. Anytime we don't love something or say something lovingly, we got a drink, which is why we're going to play those buzzes for you throughout this episode. The random year generator spun 1975. So those references at the beginning, Dave, I'm surprised you didn't use the word Sheila yet. We'll see how many times that comes up in this episode. We're talking about 1975's Picnic at Hanging Rock. This is, I'm not Mike Weir, Peter Weir. This is one of Peter Weir's first films. Shut the fuck up. You know, you guys do that in motherfucking films that It's weird, creepy, trippy movie where the rocks come alive and the girls disappear. I don't know what to tell you, but we went in 1975 before. Dave's Australian, and John is one who loves torture. So we decided to watch Picnic at Hanging Rock. It's available to rent. I know. Is it on one of the streaming services?
It's on HBO.
It's on Max.
Is it really?
Pretty sure.
Oh no! Did you rent it?
Good.
Did you rent it?
I fucking rented it by accident.
I think it's on Max right now. This is based on the book by Joan Lindsay, which may or may not be based on a true story.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about all of this soon. We got a lot of mini reviews, mostly from John. And then at the end of the episode, I was on a plane and I watched 5 new movies. But I want to tease this. You ready? I watched 5 2025 movies, but I only made it to the end of 3 of them. So here are the 5 movies, and you got to stick to the end of the episode to see which ones I did and or did not make it to the end of. Mickey 17. The Accountant 2, Minecraft movie, Black Box, and Thunderbolts. Which 3 did I make it to the end of?
Black Box on a plane?
Black Bag. I watched Black Bag. Shit. Steven Soderbergh's Black Bag first, brought to my attention by Dasein, our musical artist in residence. But John, I think that's your job. You want to shout our sponsors out?
Sure, we have a music artist in residence named Dasein, Dasein. He provides all the music for this episode, for the last episode, for every single fucking episode, the beginning, the middle, the end. Dasein, Dasein. The music is available on all the usual music platforms. Go to the show notes if you need to follow some links. We also have a beer-making friend whose name is Carlos Barroso. The handle, cbarroso.beer. He makes beer. Sometimes we drink it. Carlos Barroso, cbarroso.beer. All right, that's it.
So exciting.
He's responsible for the death of a lot of my brain cells.
Black Bag is so tight and so short. If you didn't finish that, I'll be a little disappointed in you. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. There's a few others in there that I'm surprised you pressed play on.
Jeff pushes my buzzer and then drinks.
Sharing in the fun. 2 out of the 3 of us have hard outs today, which sounds as douchey as possible. Going to keep the episode light here. So we're going to keep it moving. We got to do it. We're going to do John's mini reviews, Dave's gripe, maybe I'll gripe too, and then we're going to get into the 1975 setup before talking about this film and then doing what you've been watching, all in an hour 15. We'll see how it goes. John, what mini reviews you want to fire off at us today?
I am going to be talking very, very, very quickly, just a few sentences each, about the Materialists, because I did see that several weeks ago. I never talked about it. The Naked Gun, Weapons, and the Fantastic Four.
And that's all the time we have, folks.
I saw a lot of movies. Yeah, I'll see you guys later for next week. We have a hard out. Celine Song's Materialists, I saw that first. I feel like nobody talked about it. It was a full movie theater. First thing I want to say, it's a little late in the run, but I think it's still in movie theaters. If you liked Past Lives, I think you will still appreciate this one. I wasn't as moved and overwhelmingly smitten with this movie, but it's got some familiar faces. It's one of Pedro Pascal's 3 giant movies that he's, the lead in, one of the leads in this summer. He's having an incredible summer. If you're interested in modern romance and we don't see a lot of those movies made today, you should still try to catch that movie. I did see Fantastic Four, Dave. I totally agree with everything you said. I felt like it was a good restart. Matt Shackman. I think that's how you say his name, right? The director. I walked out of that movie theater and I was like, why do I know that guy's fucking name?
Right.
And I looked him up. And he's been a hired gun for a very long time, but he directed like half of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which is one of my favorite shows. I was like, why am I familiar with his name? He's had a really interesting run. He was the theater director here at the Geffen for like 5 years in the late aughts. It was an interesting history. He came from Yale. He went to Yale theater major and everything. So that movie is definitely worth seeing if you are one of the Marvelites. If you're not a Marvelite, I still think you would appreciate it. And I'm excited because I wish that, I feel bad for them. They didn't do the billion numbers that they wanted it to do, but it's a solid movie. And I feel like it's proof is in the pudding that it seems like people are hungry for a certain amount of that stuff. And if they keep churning it out at that level, I think they will easily be able to maintain $500 to $800 million grosses each time, which is, that's still fucking great.
I should also point
still
out,
good.
for that one, you don't need any homework, really. There's no homework.
You do not need any homework.
You don't need to watch anything before you go in.
Yeah, that's fun. Okay, so very quickly, I saw Naked Gun, which if it is exactly what you think it is. So if you want to have that experience in a movie theater, go see it. You're going to laugh. Hopefully you have a lot of people in your movie theater. Go watch it. I think it was worth watching in the movie theater. It felt like a little bit of that adult comedy event. There was an adult audience, it's that kind of thing. And Weapons, I saw last night. And this is the follow-up to Barbarian by Zach Cregger. It is... Man, there is a lot of fun comedy in this one, like Barbarian. There's a lot of fun comedic moments. There's a lot of just straight up fucking nods to the horror genre, as there are in Barbarian. That's what you're looking for. There's something a little dissociated about the way it's structured. It's intentional, and I think if you just stay with it and try to have fun watching it, there is a ridiculously funny, cathartic, disgusting, gory climax. And I think everyone is, if you have a theater like I had, which by the way, it's available in all these large formats.
Yep.
I saw it in a regular theater that was packed because everything was selling out like crazy. It's doing really well. And everybody laughed a lot. They screamed and like when they were supposed to, because there are some really fun, freaky fucking pop outs of course. And then there's some really funny and really cathartic moments, and everybody had a great time in the theater. You should go see it for sure. Don't miss it. All right, that's it.
Damn, John, that was impressive.
It was not too bad, right? Was that less than 4 minutes, 5 minutes?
I mean, you might have beat the gripe timer.
Actually, it was right around 4 minutes. So for that, John,
hey,
kudos to you. 4 mini reviews in 4 minutes. How happy is Pedro Pascal that everybody knows he is dead on The Last of Us, so he can just finally be like, yes, I filmed 4 movies during the time I was supposed to be filming Last of Us. Thank God I died on that show.
Spoilers. And second of all, I don't think he's real.
I think he's out of here. He's in 4 movies this year.
He's
actually in
an AI creation, and they're just chopping him into the fucking movies now.
Oh my God.
And he's been doing he is the Mandalorian, and they finished production on that quite a while ago. A friend of ours has been working on that film, so they finished production on that a while ago, but my God, he's got a lineup of gigantic films coming out over the next few years. His slate is insane. His agents must have a fucking wire hanger in their mouth all the time.
Oh, a wire hanger, Jesus! I would love to break your friend's NDA and find out how many days Pedro Pascal is actually on set for Mandalorian. I would love to know.
Yeah, or I know the answer, but I will not tell.
What?
I'm kidding. He's never told me anything, Disney. He's never revealed any information. I don't know what I'm even talking about.
You just got his family killed.
All right, Dave, it's been like a week and a half, maybe 2. What's gotten you mad?
Well, I have to say, and this is only a thing I picked up here in America, I just want to preface that. You know, I have those covers on toilet seats, the little paper thing that everyone likes to put down. But
I've had some trouble with those.
When they don't have that, right, and someone does fucking arts and crafts and leaves a ring of toilet paper around the fucking thing, obviously takes their shit and then leaves, and the ring is still around on the fucking toilet seat. It's like still sitting there waiting for the next person, like a little fucking booby trap. So you're walking in, you're basically touching the next like the person before you's asshole, like by batting this thing off the seat.
I hope the hole's over the hole of the toilet seat.
Yeah, so basically, like, you're touching their butt, essentially. But, you know, if I run up to them at work and just grab a fucking handful, I go to HR. But they expect me to touch it in the fucking cubicle.
That's your gripe.
Yeah. Fuckers.
Disgusting.
It's disgusting. Stop it.
That's your job.
Clean up your mess.
That's so good. The butt's actually a pretty clean part of the body. It doesn't get a lot of bacteria. It doesn't touch a lot of things.
I know. I gotta be honest. And I don't shit in public very often. I really don't like doing it. So I try never to do it, and I don't do it often. But when I have never bothered to put down the paper. Preferably it's not a seat covered in piss or stains or anything. But like,
if you get to the point where you're in a public restroom, it's an emergency, man. You don't have time for arts and fucking crafts.
Yes, that's true. Wait. We should call out. Somebody shared, I think Mark shared with us, another secret weapon of having AMC A-list. AMC, we bitch about you all the time, but we also love you. Having AMC A-list is that you can book a movie just to go in there and take a shit. You can get in there and have some privacy.
Why don't you just go to Times Square? You don't even need a ticket.
You just walk in.
Just into Times Square?
Yeah. You just shit in the curb.
You don't even have to go to the AMC. Just go to Times Square.
Yeah, it's
it. Pop a squat.
People have.
Right, Jeff, grape.
Okay, what is it going to do? I was going to do a time zones one. I don't know if it's very funny. All I'm saying is this, just because we're all don't start the timer. Just because we're all based out of New York, you have to put the time zone when we're doing an appointment, because I literally scheduled it to 7:30 and it was on the West Coast for something that is literally only for people in New York. I am in a New York-centric meeting and it literally scheduled at 10:30 because you didn't put your time zone in your meeting. Come on, I know you have a doctorate, but you got to know how to use time zones. But I don't want to get into the time zones.
You can turn that function off, you technically illiterate motherfucker.
No, it's not me. No, fuck you. No, no. Actually, you're right. I should. No, but the things I had events for the weekend that were in there. God damn it, Dave. Okay, here we go. Oh, this is my only one. So, okay, started quick. Okay, I know being gluten-free and vegan is more expensive, but just because you call a cauliflower steak a steak doesn't mean that it's a steak. Okay, I went to a steakhouse with my friends for the bachelor party, which, by the way, make sure you know ahead of time. Are we splitting the bill? Because it's like, I'll get this affordable steak, and then the person right next to you gets the surf and turf, and the other person gets the 36-hour aged Wagyu fucking steak for $76, and you are paying a fraction of that. Go fuck yourselves. If they're doing it, fuck them right back. I'm sorry, spite the shit out of that. But cauliflower steak on the menu is $42. I was like, no, you can't take the mushroom cloud little cauliflower that you can literally grow in your backyard. You don't need to raise a cow, start a family, and then watch it die in front of you. You don't need to do any of that. You just have to do this. But just because you marinate it the same way, and just because you sizzle the outside and then put it in the oven like it's going to save the juices in, it's fucking cauliflower. It's the food that my food eats. It does not need to be $42. You can't be ridiculous. It's bad enough that mocktails are $15 now. Cauliflower steak is not a steak.
God, dude, you're so right.
We have to be realistic about this, guys. You can't just,
you're not paying for the way.
It doesn't make us feel better. Not me. I'm not vegetarian. But it doesn't make, when John was vegetarian, when he was, taking care of the planet for 20 years and then he gave up on that. It doesn't make us feel better to pay $42 for a cauliflower steak.
You got another one?
Is anything other than a beef steak a steak?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't know.
Tuna steak? Is that still the right way to call it?
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
I'm with you. I don't know.
Everything's up in the air now. I'm very confused. But I think everyone on planet Earth would agree a cauliflower steak or a vegetable steak or a portobello mushroom, it's not a burger. A fucking cauliflower steak is not a fucking steak. Yeah, that shit pisses me.
A mushroom burger does not need to be the same price as a black and blue beef burger with bacon and cheese.
Yeah, they're out of control.
It is insane.
And again, when did mocktails become $15? It makes no sense.
Oh my God, what the fuck? Just because you throw 3 juices together with a little spark and then you shake it? The fucking shaking is what you're paying for.
The shaking is $11 shake. Yeah.
Dude, God almighty, it's fucking ridiculous. I feel for these restaurant owners because I know they're still sort of recovering after COVID. I know less people work there. I know they're paying more people more money. Or paying less people more money. Front of house, back of house, I get it. But good God almighty. Wait a second. Hey, did we just tap into what is going to happen with retail has already happened with restaurants because of tariffs? We already are seeing restaurant prices. They've gone up over the past few years. We just haven't really felt the fucking bang of that.
I don't think I'm buying mushroom jeans.
Companies have been eating. The Daily did a whole thing. New York Times has been covering this. The companies have been quote unquote eating the tariffs so far because they're afraid of the retribution, like Amazon got. They're afraid of being the first one. So they're going to. They did
say that eventually it's going to happen, right? You can't hold it forever. So
it has to happen. Okay. Anyway, quick setup. You guys ready?
Yeah.
To talk about the.
I just wanted to share one piece of news because I thought it was exciting, and we're a movie podcast, and I'm sure you guys saw it on.
There's a lot of exciting news.
Any of your newsletters?
Paramount Plus bought UFC.
That is pretty. Yes, that's
for fucking
that's a
$7
piece of
billion
news too, for sure. That is a big piece of news for sure. But I really wanted to celebrate, since we always talk about going to see movies and we try to get people in the movie theater. Warner Brothers setting a new record. They have now had 6 movies in a row that have come out and broken the $40 million domestic window up front in the first weekend. That has never happened before.
Right.
And that's a big fucking deal. And it's still, there are still ways to look at that. It's like, but in some ways you can analyze this and it's not as good as even last year, or certainly not good. But that is still a big deal.
We don't know what they made in their second week because they were immediately released on streaming.
Doesn't matter.
That's true. But the biggest thing I want to celebrate is that half of them were original titles.
Yeah. 3
More than
6.
half of them. I think it's 4 of them.
I think it's 4 out of 7. Something like that. Yeah. Well, I'm trying to look it up right now.
That is a big deal, because a lot of the other theaters are relying on, and I'm not judging anybody, but it's just fun to observe these things. A lot of the other studios are relying on revamping some IP and stuff, which is totally cool.
Yeah,
everybody knows why you do that.
Yeah, sometimes.
And, we'll still go watch them.
Right.
But more than half of these titles have been original, and they have exploded out of the box. I think that says something exciting about wanting to see original content, and I hope people are trying to go support that stuff. Anyway, really cool.
So the 6 are
like,
the 6.
No, I'm kind of wondering, where's David Zaslav in all this, because he usually stops this sort of shit.
Stops it. Buzz yourself. I'm on it. So the six movies really quick were Minecraft, Sinners, Final Destination Bloodlines, F1, Superman, and then Weapons. So the only original is Sinners, but Weapons is a follow-up of an original, so I feel like that still kind of counts. Minecraft is huge IP.
Weapons is its own story.
F1, same thing. It's a global brand, but it's also an original idea and a story.
It's original,
Final Destinations
known
is not,
IP,
and
not
Superman
known
is not.
story. Yeah.
So it's we'll definitely give them the credit, because they took the reins on this, and it's not like, oh, this movie was a hit, let's just repurpose, reseal, same team, give everybody a little bit of raise.
I mean, just to clarify,
for sure.
Weapons is not tied to Barbarian in any way, shape, or fashion, is it? Because we mentioned it was a follow-up film.
Just director.
It's just the same
director,
I
guess, and
writer.
Same director. I think the same team. I think Boulder Light is the same production company behind it.
And they did say, because we talked earlier on, Minecraft was a huge hit at the beginning, but then Sinners, we had the whole debacle about the Ryan Coogler deal and how it was bad for filmmakers, which is such bullshit. You can just see Wall Street people being like, Michael Jordan demanded 10% of his shoes. What a dick. You know what I mean? You can just see that kind of conversation happening. And then of course it's a huge hit. So that's how Warner Brothers started. They started in the shit, and now they're sitting there being like, we want to invest in more original IP for next year, which is exciting.
Yeah,
so that's awesome.
I saw one thing that said
6 months.
No, all fucking respect to Ryan Coogler, of course. I really, really loved Sinners. I thought it was really good. But I did see some line in some Deadline article or whatever that was basically like, Sinners has now surpassed, was it domestic box office or something for horror film, since Jaws? Which
it's not global, because most of their money is still domestic.
Blockbuster horror film, I think they called it, because maybe some other ones like Paranormal and stuff had beaten them over the summers.
They got a second IMAX run, so that's unheard of.
Yeah,
it is a big deal. But I think Jaws made about $330 million, worldwide at the time. And that is equivalent to $1.97 billion today. if we were to take that up a notch. So anyway, but I'm just joking.
Gonna need a bigger bank account
to all of them.
And speaking of IMAX,
are you guys going to go see Jaws? It's being re-released in AMC on August 29th. For some reason, just one day only for the 20. I gotta want to see it so bad.
I'm probably not gonna, because I would like to go in the ocean somewhere in the next 6 months.
I gotta see.
You live in Australia. Speaking of the ocean,
it's where fucking Jaws lives.
I am seeing Ninja 2 in a week.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
It's an enormous movie in China that made well over $1 billion in China alone. IMAX just gave it this weird release date of late August, even though it's been out for months and months and months in China. And so I got to experience it. I think it's fair. And Dave couldn't go that day. So sorry, Dave, not going with you. Yeah. All right. Time for us head to Australia, Dave's native country. For Dave, we literally made a Sheila joke. I was like, last week, Dave, prep your Australian counterparts, prove our authenticity. And the last thing he said is something about Sheilas. And yep, they definitely mentioned the word Sheilas in this movie. I was so happy when I saw that. Okay. So as we said at the beginning, actually, we had an introduction on Max. Dave, did you get this too?
Yep.
Alicia Malone was her name. Introduced this as the first of the Australian New Wave films which began essentially just before 1974, I think. And so this movie, Peter Weir had a film in 1974, so he was one of the first pitches. Like, oh, we have an Australian filmmaker that just had a first film, so we can give him a little bit of funding. Film obviously came out in 75. She said something really funny too, which is during the wars. Does that mean World War I, World War II? Does that mean all wars? During the wars. She said during the wars, 94% of films in Australia were Hollywood films. And so the Australian New Wave, which includes this movie, to put it in historical context, kind of opened the door for Australian cinema, which John, you mentioned a week or two ago.
And she said something about how before the wars, it was like over 90% before the wars, because Australia was a really early adapter of cinema.
Yeah.
So
like
1896.
1800.
Fucking crazy.
And when was the pan flute first used in Australia? Around the same time. So when we had like the piano players doing like the honky, like silent film piano players, they just had one pan flute artist in the film doing their silent films. All right. Okay. I already said that this is based on the screenplay, the novel by Joan Lindsay.
Mm-hmm.
And Cliff Green did the adaptation. As far as major awards were concerned, this had nothing to do with the Oscars. I know we're gonna do the year in advance, but I want to prep this first. But this did win one BAFTA in 76 or 77, like a year or two later, because it was a big hit in Australia and then eventually found its way abroad.
Yeah.
And it won Best Cinematography at the BAFTAs, which is a big deal in the late 70s. There were a lot of great movies, a lot of great cinematography. And that was, of course,
just for a second, can we just touch on the book for a second?
1979.
Just touch on the book for a second, because the book was originally 18 chapters.
77.
And the book that was actually released was 17 chapters. So there was a hidden chapter that
was
pretty
it
much
Goosebumps?
it kind of told what happened to the girls, and she decided it was better to leave it hanging. And
that's cool.
And took
it's like the Bible. They
took
just
the chapter out.
Took them out.
The chapter was not released until the 80s, or at least maybe the 90s. And then so the movie, when it was written, didn't even know how the book would end, because the ending wasn't released until after her death.
That's so good.
So if you watch it and go, wow, this ended weird, there's a reason.
Well, we'll put a pause in our conversation to do a little mini year in review, but I just wanted to say that because this is in a different year. It's not in the 1975 year, but One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is also a year late in Britain, and it did not win Best Cinematography. Picnic in Hanging Rock beat Cuckoo's Nest and All the President's Men and Aces High. But let's go ahead back to 1975. We always start at the box office. We've been here before because we did talk about Cuckoo's Nest, and we did talk about, I think it was Dog Day. Was Dog Day 74, 75? Doesn't matter. I think it's 75. Anyway, what was the highest grossing film that came out in 1975, guys?
I want to say it was Jaws.
Jaws! Yes, you goddamn Jaws.
And I don't get this often.
Yeah, we'll do a mini one. That's right. Dave, you nailed it. That's right. According to this, $484 million the worldwide box office. This is according to the numbers and its original run.
God damn.
That's so much money in 1975.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm looking it up right now because I did 330, didn't I? Keep talking.
I had domestic 273. These fucking people. This looks like the numbers though, but maybe I did do Box Office Mojo. Anyway, number 2 is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest comes in at number 2, and also making $100 million according to this. No, this is definitely the number. Fuck, I don't remember. John's got to tell us in a second. The Rocky Horror Picture Show made over $115 million. I don't know how that makes sense.
I mean, I wonder what it's up to now, because that thing's still being shown.
Oh, for sure. Shampoo comes in at number 4 here on this list. And
I'm sorry to interrupt, but if this is real, this is insane. If $480 million is the right number, apparently that is equivalent to $12 billion today.
Get the fuck out of here.
Can you imagine?
No, actually I can't. I can't imagine that.
$12 billion today? That is insane.
Weird about this. I don't know. These numbers are weird.
I mean, if you add up all the avatars, it might.
So
I figured it out. Okay. It's in I got it. It would be 2.7 billion.
That for sure. Sense. Yes, and that is still without any, heightened screen experiences.
That is unbelievable. Okay, keep going.
Can you imagine if Endgame did $2.7 billion without any IMAX or Dolby?
Yeah.
Or anyway.
Wow.
Okay, cool. Shampoo and Dog Day are 4 and 5, and then to round out the top 10, The Return of the Pink Panther, 3 Days of the Condor, Funny Lady, The Other Side of the Mountain, and I can't fucking believe this, Tommy. comes in at number 10. I know The Who were cool, but that movie is very weird, although it was nominated for some Oscars. How about that?
We just watched a film of that director's. Do you guys remember? Do you remember who directed Tommy and who directed the movie we watched 4 weeks ago? About a guy floating in fluid with a helmet on.
Oh, wait. He Altered States was directed by the director of Tommy?
Ken Russell.
That makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense.
It all makes sense now.
And what's funny is
this
nothing
is
about that
fucking
movie
weird.
makes sense.
Hold my beer.
For all of us. Okay. A couple other movies that made some money. We had Rollerball comes in at number 12. The Hindenburg comes in at number 14. Barry Lyndon makes about $20 million or so. The movie's so good. It's very long, very weird, and it's so
The funny
good.
thing, I think I saw Rollerball when I was like 5.
Yeah, I can see that.
Brutal.
I can see you watching that weird ass movie when you're young. And then coming in at number 20 on this list with $17 million domestic is Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore.
Ooh.
How about that? 1975. That movie definitely came out. I thought it came out before 1975, but what do I know? What do I know? Any other movies you want to shout out?
Yeah. Fucking Monty Python and the Holy Grail. How did that not get in there?
Because most of these numbers are domestic. I feel like we just didn't believe any international numbers at the time.
I find it funny that one of the most famous quotes in that movie is, "Look, your arm's off," and it's released the same year as Jaws.
Ah, that's good.
Look what he did.
No, that's good.
How about Tarkovsky's Mirror?
Sure.
That is a gorgeous, challenging movie by the master. The Man Who Would Be King. This movie is fucking awesome. Michael Caine and Sean Connery. Period piece about like them going into like a colony. I think it's after World War I and somewhere in the Middle East or North Africa, and they kind of become like leaders. It's insane.
Michael Caine just walks in, smashes his bottle of fucking glass, yeah?
I got you. Night Moves. Should probably mention that. That's one worth. We talked about Death Race 2000, which is pretty ridiculous, but that's something.
And that franchise is still going.
Anyone who has ever seen Django Unchained, there is part of that storyline is loosely based on the exploitation film from 1975, Mandingo, that Quentin Tarantino is a big fan of. Yeah, all right, I'll leave it at that.
Couple bit of film news here. George Lucas forms Industrial Light and Magic to create necessary special effects films for Star Wars, which would of course come out 2 years later.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Italian director Pier Paolo Pasolini is brutally murdered in Ostia, which is Rome. The first American film review show premieres and launches the careers of critics Gene Siskel and Roger Ebert. This was actually called Sneak Previews. They remained as a team for 24 years. Let's see, what else? They reorganized Warner Brothers. That sounds familiar, et cetera, et cetera. Frank Wells returned as the chairman and CEO. Bernard Herrmann completes his recording for his soundtrack of Taxi Driver in 1975. Taxi Driver came out the following year in 1976. And then he died the following day.
The following day. It's so insane.
Wow.
That's so crazy.
And let's see, last but not least, I just want to say this. Sholay, which is a film directed by Ramesh Sippy, produced by his father, G.P. Sippy, so big old Nepo baby there, written by Salim Javed, was released in Bombay. It started a lot of people. I'm just going to skip that. But when it was first released, it received negative critical reviews and tepid commercial response. Why the fuck can't I talk? But favorable word of mouth.
The sun's still up.
And it actually became the highest grossing film in India, and it held that for 20 years until 1994. So Sholay, big old film from Bombay, came out in 1975.
And one last
one of the greatest, most influential. Okay, go ahead.
The Rocky Horror Picture Show.
We already said it. Dude, get out of
Did
here.
we?
Yes.
You can talk about how good it was. It came in number 3 at the box office.
I just really, really have trouble.
You like looking things up while I'm talking. I understand. So do people. So do people in our show.
Scrolling around. It's okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
Like, I'm just gonna do
Half of the people will be happy I brought it up again. I promise.
I'm happy you brought it up again. It's one of my favorites.
I was literally going to say, it's one
I've
of James'
toured the musical.
Dave's wearing his tights right now.
Yeah.
Milos Forman's One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest made a clean sweep of the 5 major categories: picture, actor, actress, director, and screenplay. Adapted screenplay in this case. Only 3 films have ever done that. It Happened One Night in 1934 and Silence of the Lambs in 1991. A couple other things. Lee Grant won for supporting actress, and supporting actor was George Burns for The Sunshine Boys. Let's see. Writing was Dog Day and Cuckoo's Nest. And that's all the fuck I want to say about that. How good is that? This is an interesting fact. Amarcord at the 94th Academy Awards was nominated for Best Director. It's the last film to be nominated for Academy Awards in separate years, because it won the award for Best Foreign Language Film the year before, but it hadn't made its LA run until the year of the Oscars when it won Best Foreign Language Film. And so it was reconsidered for all the other categories, including Best Director, and was nominated for Best Director. So that is Amarcord. And
fun piece of trivia. Who released it? What company, famous person in their company, released it internationally in the world?
Released
here. I mean, they brought it over here.
Well, it's a Fellini film, produced by I don't know. Go ahead. Who is it? Warner Brothers. PIC.
Roger Corman and New World Pictures. Yeah, and guess who cut the trailer for? He was the trailer. He was one of the two trailer cutters.
John's been sitting there like a fucking trapdoor spider, waiting for you to bring this movie up.
Yeah, I was expecting that.
It is Joe Dante, the guy that Matt's obsessed with, who did like the Piranha movies, Gremlins, some of those other feature creatures. He was one of the fucking trailer cutters, and apparently Corman said to him, Dante, and I can't remember the other person, was just like, how do we fucking cut this trailer? Obviously it's all in Italian, but like, and Corman was like, cut it like you cut all the exploitation trailers. So I recommend everybody get online and watch the trailer for Amarcord. It's a unique, weird trailer. It's unusual, and it's a weird movie. It's hard to imagine how you would have cut that anyway, but it's a fun little thing. Anyway.
Oh, and that's great. I totally believe you. I don't see a single thing that you're saying here on this Wikipedia page, and I just got to know more about it, but not at this particular time, because we got to move on.
Well,
into a quick what was going on in the air.
Wikipedia page didn't go to fucking film school, did they?
Yeah.
Michael, I learned it recently when... Did you guys ever watch the Criterion Closet YouTube videos?
Yes.
Corman told that story when he was in there.
Wow.
That man is old.
He's old.
His Criterion Closet video.
Oh, he's old.
But it's a good one.
A couple other things. Again, we've already done this year, but it was a long time ago. It was technically before the random year generator. But there was an OPEC oil issue. We all know about the oil embargoes and shit that happened. But in 1975, it got really bad. And there was a recession that was basically caused by OPEC, those motherfuckers. The Watergate players were sentenced to 2.5 to 8 years for conspiracy and obstruction of justice. These are the people that actually committed the crime.
The plumbers.
Technically speaking, the U.S. involvement in Vietnam.
What was the movie we went and saw that took place when that was happening? The Licorice Pizza, I think it was.
Was Licorice Pizza during?
Is that during the
Watergate?
No, not Watergate. The fuel crisis that was caused by the
the 70s. Well, Death Race 2000 was. I don't remember. Yeah. I'm not sure.
I think it was, because remember they had
Taxi Driver.
Remember they had to push the truck down the hill because they were trying to make it to the gas station. They ran out of fuel.
That is Licorice Pizza, but is that because of the fuel crisis, or just because they were dumb and didn't know that they were running out?
It was both.
I didn't realize it was associated with that. God, that's a funny fucking sequence.
What a memory, Dave. Really good. President Forbes survived a second assassination attempt, this time by Sarah Jane Moore of San Francisco. I usually don't like mentioning her names, but she is in the movie, the musical Assassins, and she's great in it, her character. So there you go. Good Morning America debuted on ABC this year. A Chorus Line premiered, and I'm saying this because this is the 50th anniversary of 1975.
Yeah,
and A Chorus Line
is
probably in the top 3 most influential musicals of all time in the history of Broadway. Maybe you could talk me down to 5, but probably the top 3 most influential musicals of all time. So they did a 50th anniversary recently. And actually they played for the first time ever an unplayed overture, an overture that's never been played for a live audience before. That was found when Marvin Hamlish, I think, passed away. His family estate went through all of his material and listened. And they're like, oh my God, there was a overture to A Chorus Line. And they played it for the first time at the 50th anniversary at the Schubert Theater, where Hell's Kitchen is now.
I don't think I remembered that there was not an overture. Do you think Michael Bennett was like, get that out of here?
Yeah.
It's not that kind of musical.
No.
I want everybody to feel like they're just coming
with
into
just a
the
mirror and a line,
room,
and then there's like a little bit of entrance music, and then they're like an audition music. That's right. Saturday Night Live premiered, of course. Grizzly bears became an endangered species. we're going into prices. I'll do prices, baby names, and then, we'll keep it simple here. On December 11th, the price for first-class postage stamps increased from 10 cents to 13 cents a stamp. Damn, 13 cents. Most popular baby names. I'm seeing, oh my God, do I not see both of yours?
Probably not.
Wait, I don't think so.
Neither.
In 1975, the most popular baby names for boys were Michael, Jason, Christopher,
I know, I was
David,
going to guess
and
Jason.
James. Dude, John, you're not on the list, but Dave, you made it. You live another day.
Wow.
I'm a 70s kid.
1970. For girls, the top 5 were Jennifer, Amy, Melissa, Heather, and Angela. I'm going to send her that one right after we record this. How about that? The average life expectancy for a man was 68 years, and for a woman, 72. A little bit of a drop off. I don't know if Vietnam helped. There you go. Cost of a Super Bowl ad, $107,000. Annual income. The average annual income, $14,100. The average cost of a new house, $39,300. Monthly rent, $200. New car, $4,250. And the average cost of a gallon of gas, oh boy, this must have been right before the prices went up. 44 cents a gallon, 1975.
Protest.
Shout, I found a gas station in the $3 range, and I just filled up. I was not even halfway done with my tank, but I was like, $3.80.
Such a reward.
In Los Angeles.
Oh my God.
Bananas, 19 cents a pound. Beans, Campbell's Baked, were 24 cents for a 1 pound can. A ground beef chuck was 99 cents a pound. That's right. But a sirloin steak was $1.29 to $1.39 a pound. Talk about our steak prices from before. Bread, 32 cents for a 22-ounce loaf. Hotel bar butter was 70 cents. Let's keep it moving here. Celery was 38 cents a stalk. Eggs, 59 cents a dozen. Chock full of nuts coffee was only 99 cents for a 1 pound can.
Chock full of nuts coffee?
Chock full of nuts coffee. That's what it says, yo. Chock full of nuts coffee. That is some nutty coffee you guys were drinking.
Branding took a hit on that one.
That's right. Cooked ham was 79 cents a pound.
And it wasn't until the 2000s we got teabagging.
Dave, your favorite Spam, 79 cents. 79 cents for a 12-ounce can of Spam. Sweet corn, sweet corn. 10 ears for 79 cents. 10 ears for 79 cents. That's a lot of weight for 79 cents. And turkey was 43 cents a pound. The top television shows. Happy Days was actually number 11. There were a lot of other more popular shows, including, I'm going to count down from 8. Rhoda, Sanford and Son, Phyllis, and then the top 5, The Bionic Woman, Maude, Laverne and Shirley, Rich Man, Poor Man, and All in the Family. All shows.
The Bionic
white
Woman
parents.
was
And
number...
to say, the
Bionic
only ones
Woman
I
was
watched in
number 5.
Australia at that time was Bionic Woman and I think Maude made it over.
Yeah,
that was
there
it.
You go.
Wow.
Well, you know what? There's some cool pop music artists here, but the top 5 I think is pretty funny here. The Carpenters, Captain and Tennille, Bruce Springsteen, Born to Run did come out this year. Barry White. Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Did he make white women want to make love? And Barry Manilow, the #1 pop music artist according to the site that I was looking at. How about that? And last but not least, as always, friends, we got the 10 food and beverage trends, but I got to put in a couple near misses. Crepes Suzette came in at number 13. That did not make the top 10.
That sounds great.
Libbyland frozen dinners or Ring Pops did not make it. And also, Dave, I'm so sorry to say, but Spam and Eggs did not make it, nor did Wacky Cake, or, I'm not kidding, the Watergate Salad. The Watergate Salad did not make it into the top 10. No, the top 10 was reserved for cheese fondue.
That was on
cheese
Dobs You In for eating a
balls.
salad?
Dobs you in? What the fuck is it? Cheese balls
Hey,
was
you
number 9.
You told me to go
Carrot
Australian.
cake. Campbell's Chunky Soup, California Rolls, number 6. And your top 5, are you ready? Blue Nun. I actually don't know what a Blue Nun is. I just copied and pasted. But Blue Nun is 5.
Yeah,
Black Forest Cake.
You got to choke him for a while.
Just going to ignore that. Betty Crocker French Toast Witches. Betty Crocker French Toast Witches. Beef Bourguignon. Bourguignon. And number 1, and I'm not kidding, Alpen cereal. Alpen cereal was the number 1
Chock
food and
full of
beverage trend in
Alpens.
1975.
Ooh,
Friends, there's 1975. I have a
The
meeting
only
after
thing
this.
I'm
19
finding for Blue Nun is a semi-sweet German Riesling.
That tracks.
There's no way that's it, right? It's not food.
Semi-sweet German, yes.
That was the most
1975,
popular
that's
food
it.
in 75. Yep.
Weird.
Is up there for sure. And I still don't know what an Alpen cereal is. Alpen. Alpen
It's got ground up alpacas.
cereal. Oh, this says Alpen cereal near me.
It's just a brand, like
Ah,
Is
wheat
it?
brand with nuts.
How do they blow it?
70s
They
is
were
all
doing
about
so
the
well.
nuts.
How do they blow it?
How did they
Okay.
blow it
Can you choose
Raisin
your words more
Bran
carefully when we're
took-
talking about nuts?
over? Oh, come on.
You're right. Oh my God, the box was really good too. They had good marketing.
Yeah,
They
it's a
blew
cool
it.
box. I would have bought that when I
making
was a
it
kid.
worse.
Totally blew it. Totally blew it. Blew it because we said that day? Was that
Oh
why?
my God.
All right, Hanging Rock, people. Let's do it.
Hanging Rock.
Picnic at Hanging Rock. Let's hang some rock.
How did they blow it? It's
As
still
always,
available
friends.
to order on Amazon. You can still get
course it
Alpen,
is.
folks.
Yeah, you
in
can
case
let
you want to taste the Alps.
What is it a pound on Amazon?
Yeah, what is it
Yeah.
now? Okay, anyway. All right, friends. Peter Weir's second feature film, first with the money that he got from the Australian Film Institute.
It was back when you could still get money off them, and there wasn't, one or two filmmakers taking it all.
Whatever that was important though. Let's set that up just very quickly because it was in that little text before the movie. The Australian Film Corporation was started in 1975, and this was one of the very first films to be funded by it. So it is it's not just in general how you can get
Very
funding
important.
from a lot of countries other than America. Anyway, sorry.
All right. Actually, I want to read I'm going to read the IMDb description, but I like the poster that is on IMDb here as well. You ready? It says, on St. Valentine's Day, this is literally February 14th, in the year 1900, good turning of the century story, a party of schoolgirls set out to picnic at Hanging Rock. Some were never to return. Pretty good right there. But I'll read the IMDb one as I always do as well. During a rural summer picnic. Is it summer in February 14th, Dave? Is it summer there?
No, we're coming into spring. No, actually, sorry, autumn. Coming
You're in
into
the
autumn.
Southern Hemisphere, right?
Yeah, coming into
No,
autumn.
now you're
then.
coming into fall. Yeah.
Autumn. Yeah.
Crikey.
That's what the rest
You
of the fucking
can't even
world calls
remember.
it.
You fucking
All fucking turned around.
No.
It's just-
no, dude.
During a rural summer picnic, a few students and a teacher from an Australian girls' school vanish without a trace.
I mean,
Their absence.
technically, summer is December, January, February. That's what it used to be before we started fucking with the weather
Sure.
in Australia.
Their absence frustrates and haunts the people left behind. There you go. What'd you think? What'd you feel? I think this is a first-time watch for all. Dave, have you seen this before?
Oh, yeah, I've seen this before.
Okay. And you knowingly chose this film this week.
I was very young when I saw it before, and I wanted to know how it affected me now, because I saw it way before I should have, I think. The first
Okay.
time.
We're going to put a pin on that. We're going to send it around the horn. What'd you think? What'd you feel? No stuffy criticism. Picnic and Hanging Rock. John, I think it's time to start with you this week. What do you think?
Okay. And I'll correct myself. The Australian Film Development Corporation started in 1970. The Australian Film Commission was in 1975, which steers the money in that direction. Anyway, okay. So this is I really love the film Walkabout, and I think that's the only other movie from this era that I had seen. So I don't want these two movies to paint the entire picture of it, but we do that with the brush over here with New Hollywood as well. Everybody thinks of a few movies when they think of the beginning of those eras, and this is definitely one of them for the Australian New Wave. So it's impossible not to be moved by the style that they employ in this movie. The cinematography is picturesque and impressionistic. There are things about it that do not feel natural. They feel. I was a little struck. I love Peter Weir, so I wasn't struck that he did this and that this is where he came from. But I was a little struck by when I heard the word New Wave, just because a little bit in my head I think New Wave and I think Italian, French, even New Hollywood, which meant very little money, which meant, no, we're not going to be formal. We're going to be informal with filmmaking and cinematography and style. It's going to feel painfully realistic. It's not going to feel heightened. This was a return to something from like before. It almost felt like it was in many ways. It's so formal in terms of its filmmaking that it did something, I don't know, something, it was playing on my mind a little bit because I went in with an expectation of thinking there was going to be something a little bit more down and dirty. I knew it was going to be experimental. I knew there was going to be something about the enigmatic kind of dreamlike quality because I had seen some pictures about this and heard some things about it over the years, even though I had never watched it. But without a doubt, now shut up after this, my favorite thing about this movie, which apparently I looked it up just to see if it was the book or the movie, the screenwriter. They do this in the book, but they do it differently because it's a book. They do it with narration in a book. They tell you who they're talking about. My favorite thing about this movie is how they pass the narrative baton from character to character to character. And it ends up being a mystery that kind of ends up like folding on itself because you get to see how everybody either enters it, experiences the aftermath of it, or lives in the unresolve of it in some way. And that was really interesting. I was not sure whose story this was going to be. And it really impressed me that it ended up being nobody's specific story. And I thought that was pretty ambitious for not a very first time, but an early first time filmmaker for the Australian Film Corps to like get behind it and say, yeah, we want to make this one without a really strong protagonist to make it much more relatable.
I mean, if I remember rightly,
though.
This book is taught in schools. I'm pretty sure a school made us read
totally
it.
See that. Yeah.
It was a long time ago.
You did. Or Jeff, why don't you go and then we'll get to Dave.
I really liked most of the film. I do think that given to what you're saying, it actually makes sense that after, let's call it the incident and in the aftermath of that, when the people are kind of reeling from it, there's like, and actually I saw this afterwards. Again, we saw this film like 2 weeks ago. It's actually intentional. They actually wanted you to miss the girls. They wanted you to really miss them. And I think when I started to realize that either they probably weren't going to come back or that it was not their movie anymore and that it was going to be this like search and rescue, but people weren't really searching. Were they really rescuing? There was a lot of interesting stuff in there, but I do think it got a little long for me there. Having said that, that first like 45 minutes, especially the rocks, and I think it was actually Patton Oswalt that said something in a clip that was like, you can hear the rocks breathing when they're at the picnic site. And so it has this sort of, and I think a lot of people interpret it supernaturally. Maybe for the right reason. Maybe it was filmed to kind of be supernatural, whether that's from above or below or interpret to any kind of supernatural phenomenon you want to have. There's memory loss, so it's all in that. It's so
even
amazing.
The fucking rocks eat you in Australia. That's this is my big takeaway.
Yeah, I was waiting for a spider to come out. And they're like, no, some lizards, a bunch of ants all over the shit. I mean, first of all, you want to talk about the filmmaking. How cool is it that you can see real nature in filmmaking? And of course, it's in Australia, but I do, like I said, I can't watch TV shows where I know they can't touch the set without the crew finding them, or you know what I mean? When I'm literally like, okay, it's supposed to be their kitchen, and all they can do is touch one plate and one rag.
They pulled in Rent a Forest?
A fucking cabinet.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's
you
good.
can.
There's actually an agency that does that.
Or you see something outside that's all prim and clean, and you're like, this person's hair looks phenomenal. It's like, oh, they woke up with a full beat of makeup on, and here's this movie where there's literally flies on people's like eyeballs and cake. And
well,
shit.
Yeah, there's no getting rid of the fucking flies, dude. You can be as good a filmmaker as you want. There's no getting rid of those.
So the world making, and then just that my belief in whatever is happening is totally possible and plausible, and the disappearance is so fascinating. I wish that second third was a little bit more enticing in certain moments, but I think there was a lot of really interesting stuff.
Dave, before you go, I want to ask you, Jeff, since I think a lot of Americans especially would have that experience. In a way, this is kind of presented as like, I don't know, you know what I mean? This might sound a little reverse prejudice or prejudice, but like, oh, they speak English, they're white, they watch British and American stuff too. We might have been expecting something that was a little less art house, but this is a challenging art house film. And I have a very, very, very strong feeling that I would have felt much more immersed in it had I seen it on a big screen. And I think
of course.
The narrative would have ended up mattering way less to me because it would have been just about a sensual experience of this kind of dreamy kind of fucking horror poem thing that was happening. Anyway.
Yeah, I wish I saw it on a big screen. I don't know if that's your I don't know if that's your question. Of course I do. And I do love, given everything I just said, that the one like crazy girl whose parents couldn't pay the rent. So it's like they're kind of telling her she's crazy because her parents can't afford it anyway, but also because she's artistically inclined and she had this like obsession with the girl again that adds to the supernatural lore. And it became less weird after the fact. You know, like before the fact, it's like, God, this girl has this weird infatuation with this clearly the most attractive girl in the school. But then afterwards, where it's like her roommate, and it's like she just has this weird connection because she's in an all-girls school and it's her roommate and she likes her and her parents can't. It's just she's like one of the few people in her life that she actually is like connected to, and then she disappeared. To me, that was a really strong storyline. That was really interesting. Okay,
all right,
Dave, what do you think of this rewatch,
dude? First of all, I'll tell you, this freaked me out as a kid watching it because it's kind of proposed as factual. And even when Peter Weir went to interview her, the writer, about it, she refused to answer whether it was the events were real or not, like based on fact. Like she was ambiguous about that fact. It's not. It's fictional. It's completely fictional. But it's like we know something is going to happen to the girls going in. They've set it up with that much with the blurb and that sort of thing. But they kind of give you multiple scenarios to mull over of what happened to them once the inciting incident happens. Like once we're into the mystery of it, they set up multiple things that could have possibly happened to them, and then they just slowly knock them down. But the fact that that last chapter is missing makes this like not a mystery to be solved. It's a mystery to be experienced, like to be experienced. It's because there is really no solve in this thing. And I think from a storytelling point, it's a slow burn into a really intriguing, inciting incident. But to be honest, the slow burn continues for just too long into the film with tidbits of story and never leading to a resolve. So it may actually leave people frustrated for a modern audience because they don't they get a bit of resolve, but not much.
The distance is totally great, and I totally validate, again, the distance meaning like the boys, I felt like they really moved in close on in post because maybe they were witnesses or whatnot. And then again, that girl that was a little crazy, and maybe like the one nurse that was clearly like sleeping with men in the middle of the day and like sneaking them in, which is also a fun little storyline. But then there were all these other distance times where I was kind of like, I wish everybody was so close. I wish everybody was treated with such close, whereas there were a lot of people that I feel like they pulled away from. And I kind of had trouble remembering who was who. Whereas like Memories of Murder, for instance, where they started to move around to the different detectives and stuff, I felt really drawn into each storyline. But this one, every now and then it would change character and I'd be like, where am I right now?
Yeah. First of all, that woman who's the assistant who's like having the relationship, she's like one of Australians like acting royalty. Like she was the one
who is she? Because I'm trying to figure
Weaver.
out
She was
sorry,
she was nominated for an Oscar for the
David
series
Russell
about the
film,
mobster, the series, the film about the mobster family, Animal Kingdom.
Animal Kingdom. Yeah.
Well, and she was also nominated for Silver Linings Playbook.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Twice in like 2 years. Yeah, Silver Linings had four acting categories taken care of. Yeah, she's awesome, Jacki Weaver. Yeah,
she plays Ben. Oh my God, Ben. What's his name? The weird talking about the new look. Jeff, what's his name?
Oh, Ben Mendelsohn.
And what's his name's mother in Animal Kingdom? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, she's the matriarch.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Do you guys feel like, anecdote to what you're saying, I saw that Peter Weir said in an interview one time that when he brought it to America to take it around to potential distributors, somebody watched it and he was in the room with them, and the distributor at the end of the movie threw their coffee that they were drinking at the screen and yelled, "I wasted 2 hours of my life for this." No, because they were so frustrated that there was no resolve.
Yeah.
And that they were so concerned that Americans were going to be like, what the fuck,
I mean, the thing is,
I don't need a resolve.
If you enjoy,
there's no resolve at the end of Memories of Murder, right? Like I don't need a resolve.
I feel like if you enjoyed the new Twin Peaks, you'll enjoy this.
Okay. Well, I mean, weirdly true.
Yeah.
And okay, let's go back to it. Let's talk about the best parts of this movie. So the beginning is perfectly wonderful and it's perfectly great, and they're going on this trip, and the one girl can't go, and that's all great. The fucking rocks, man. And
Yeah.
and when they get there, there's another family, this wealthy family with like servants or whatever that are there. I guess it's like the governor. I forget who is that guy? Who's the man? And first of all, they have like nice china that they brought to this fucking picnic, and
I
it
can't
makes you
remember
just
if
fucking
he's the
hate them.
governor or if he's just rich.
Yeah, I think he's just
Well,
a
but he has like
landowner,
the
aristocrat.
and he has like a personal boy with him, and then his I don't know, it's a family member is that one guy who's going back to England after this, but like. And then you have like the girls that want to go up to the rock, and then you have the one girl, and maybe they didn't need to lay on like she's not quite as attractive as the other girls look and stuff. But from that like 15 minutes or so, where they're at the picnic, and then they start to get a little restless, and then they go up to the rock, and of course it happens. Fucking awesome! Like it really doesn't get much better than that. That is as Twin Peaksy as you could
Tell
get.
me the young
the scene where the girls wake up from their nap and then go into the rocks.
Yeah.
And they're clearly moving in like a completely different speed. I wouldn't be surprised if their frame rate was like 10 frames a second or like something ridiculous. Or it was like so slow. And the girl is just shouting, "Where are you going without your shoes?" I mean, that's some of the best filmmaking I've seen in this style ever in my life.
It is pretty amazing. They cranked it so fast there that there is some slow motion that doesn't even feel as though it's in motion. It is almost like stop framed. And obviously I assume that would have been on purpose. What did you think about, what did you think about them revealing through the girl who made it back to the group?
Oh, how crazy was that? That's crazy, yeah.
When she said that the teacher who went up after them was wearing no clothes, or she was in like her undergarments,
it's amazing,
and like running up the mountain after the girls. I'm going to make a confession here. I'm reeling on the past 4.5 minutes or whatever it is since Dave made that statement. I did not even bother to look up whether or not this was fiction or not.
Yeah.
I thought this was real.
Yeah, no, yeah,
it was designed for you to think it's real.
Yeah.
But yeah, in fact,
they play
the
a witch
author,
show, basically.
The offer, because when Peter Weir was like trying to get the rights, he thought a producer was going to come to him, but it was just her, the author. And he said that at the time, especially in Australia, you just didn't adapt books. You made your own movies because you were never going to meet the author. It's like that was something that Hollywood did. That's something people with money did. Like everybody, it was all original stories in Australia at the time. To adapt a novel seemed like it's something impossible. And so it was only her that showed up, and he was told, do not ask her if it's real. And so he was like, I'm sorry, I have to ask you if it's real.
Yeah.
And she just said, I really wish you didn't ask me that. You were told that not to ask me that. And then he goes, yeah, but come on. Like, I really want to adapt this, I want to make this movie. And she goes, it doesn't matter. And I think he just knew that, and he was like, okay. But she had been there when she was a child. So it clearly was like a child's fictional
The follow-up
idea
question he asked her after that was, do you have in your head what happened? Because she was ambiguous about it, because at the time they didn't know there was a missing chapter, but she did. Like her and her agent were the only ones.
Sci-fi supernatural chapter.
Yeah, kind of.
There's a I don't know if you guys watched this, but there is a lost scene at the end of this movie that was not added into it, but you can watch it on YouTube. It's about 9.5 minutes long, and it's the headmistress of the school. In the finished version of the film, they just say in postscript that her body was found at the base of the rocks.
Yeah.
There's a lost scene where it's a montage of her going there, and she kind of has a very similar experience that the girls had, slowly kind of making her way up, taking a nap, waking up, and then she looks up and she sees Sarah, the girl who jumped to her death, high in the rocks. And she kind of draws her to her, and the woman kind of disappears in that exact same place in the rocks. So kind of giving you this idea. I think my research, Dave, tell me if I'm wrong, but my research on Australian New Wave, and I think this movie and Walkabout are obvious examples of it, is that it was also kind of part of this. How long had y'all been there? Late 1800s. So about 3-4 generations into colonizing this land. This was one of the first times there was a cultural, with video and film, a cultural reflection on Indigenous people, and like the guilt and the mixture of how these heightened, basically Western white cultures were confronting this land that was inhabited by a lot of mysticism and people and cultures that did not agree with that at all,
Yeah.
and the harshness of the land.
To
and
give
how
you
those two
the
things kind
math,
of led to mystery.
Australia celebrated its bicentennial in 1988.
There you go.
So 1788 was when Australia
Similar
was.
timeline to ours.
Okay, so
but-
way
no,
longer
but
than that. I thought it was in the late 1800s.
But I got the classism. I mean, first of all, the one girl that can't go, they're like mad
Yeah.
at her for writing poems all day. And her poems are pretty damn good. And then she like has memorized all these poems by people that they're like, oh, but that's not on our list. Nope. And they like shut her down. And it's like, she's actually really good at this. It's like an obvious talent. And then again, like I said before about bringing the other group, bringing Fine China to like a pick. And what the fuck is this? These girls, all they had, they just went to Iraq. That's what their plan was for this
like,
day.
That's
such a classist, like wealthy.
I set up where they're like, oh, be careful, there could be snakes. It's Australia. Of course there's fucking snakes.
Yeah.
Like,
what do they expect?
Why do you need to say that? We know there's snakes.
I think in a way that girl, Sarah, was kind of the vehicle for Joan Lindsay, the author. Because I felt certainly that strong sense of these girls are not here to do something with their life. They're here to become educated wives. That was a real sense I got
of wealthy people. Yeah,
of wealthy people. So I thought that was great. She ended up putting a woman's perspective in there through the eyes of an artist and mixing it with that sensual kind of lust and infatuation, obsession that she had with the other girl. That heightened it as well. There was something really unique and interesting about why she chose to establish this girl's obsession with one of the girls who ends up leading the girls into the rocks. And I don't know. There was part of me that was like, God, the metaphors, like, are they just staring us in the face for lesbianism and sensuality and oppression of women at that time with sexuality?
If you're at an all-girls school, you're going to get some feelings for your female classmate.
Yeah,
it's going to happen.
Yeah. I want to say what gets this across the line for me is that there's basically no visual effects. There's no magic tricks. It's just creepy imagery and mystery. Like the mystery of
it looks so
what
artistic.
happens.
It looks like a painting.
Yeah.
Like it looks like a painting, a lot of this.
Yep.
I'm looking at this one. There's all the girls lining up for the bus, and there's just a bunch of chickens running around in the backyard. Like, tell me that's not some shit that Monet would have spent like a week just fucking painting. Not Monet, but you know what I
It
mean.
is very impressionistic.
Did you see the note where he hired girls with no acting experience because he wanted like fresh-faced girls for the school, but some of them were kind of so inexperienced at acting they had to dub their lines over by other actresses.
Oh, wow.
I did see. I mean, you could see
No.
some of the dubs. You can unfortunately see some of the
So
dubs.
there's a couple of
You can
dubs
see-
stuck in there.
A lot of it felt like a lot of this movie was voiceovered and looped after the fact.
Yeah.
ADR'd.
Yeah, there were
which
only a
I
couple
would
of actual
imagine-
actresses. The rest were brand new.
And the sound was so crisp and everything was so obviously shot on location.
Yeah.
There was a part of me that felt a little
they
bit
didn't even bring a
removed because
microphone.
of that.
They didn't.
But it
They
kinda
didn't even bring a
didn't-
microphone to the outdoors.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly. It kind of
Yeah,
didn't
all
bother
you
me
need is
too much, I
flies
guess.
buzzing around.
That sequence at the
Foley did a
beginning,
good job.
that shot at the beginning when it cuts to them a little later in the day, and it ends with the girls deciding to walk away. And it's that slow pan. Dave, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. This was a movie of pans and tilts.
Oh, for
Like,
real.
The panning and tilting was so
The one in the
compelling,
office,
though. It was like,
where she calls Sarah in the office, and as she walks in, there's like a handoff from the head of the school to Sarah, so it follows her story for a second, and the dialogue is happening off screen, and then it comes back and hands it back. So it's like a little aside where you pick up Sarah for a minute. It was just all done in one shot with a slight pan.
yeah. There were so many moments like that where I felt like it was extremely effective. And obviously, visually, they would hand off these, that narrative baton from one person to another. They never relied on any other vehicles other than visual. We're just with them now. And the way people were introduced and the way mystery was introduced. One of my favorite things about that technique wasn't simply that I felt that I would get more answers if I was handed off to somebody else. It was that I started to have a lot of doubt for every person that I was with.
Yeah.
And it's almost like
Yeah.
when they're first planted and they're not the protagonist or they're not the main person's perspective, of course you have doubt for them because like they're kind of being introduced in a way or you saw them before and then it would go to them. And I was even more doubtful that I was with an unreliable narrator kind of thing. Like, why am I with them now?
You were basically, every one of them was sort of a witness to the fact that these girls went into the rock and didn't come back. So everyone had their own version of the story. So what was happening got handed from person to person.
For me, the midpoint was when Michael, the young rich boy, was found by what I would call the young Australian Kyle Chandler, the manservant of his family.
Yeah.
God, he looks like Kyle Chandler, doesn't he? Doesn't he fucking look like that? Sure. When he found him and he found the piece of her dress in his hand, I was like, oh, there is some fucking reality.
Yeah.
That I started feeling, I was like, oh, I didn't think we were going to solve the mystery.
We might get answers.
I did think like there's something real. There's something actually happened, that this isn't some, it's not just for the sake of ambiguity and all that stuff, which was a fun handoff because then it was almost like the society and the community and I guess a lot of the world, because if, the way she's telling it, it was printed on these front pages around the world, but a lot of that immediate community that we're around, it's almost like they were all like really frustrated and they felt helpless and never knowing. And in the last half of the movie, it was almost like you were seeing people fighting between how to mourn the fact that you'll never know and people wanting to just get past that they'll never know.
Yeah.
Which I guess is sort of the same thing, which is what eventually
that's the thing. Like
handed it off to Mrs. Appleyard, the mistress.
Australia does have some fucking rugged territory, so there are a lot of mysteries like that where we never got answers to what happened, definitive evidence of what happened in a particular location.
Brutal.
Yeah,
but it grounded. The point I was making was that that second half thing ended up grounding it in the same reality that started when I saw that piece of her dress. We were no longer in the. I'm sorry to say it, but like part of me was like, what did they fucking run into? Aborigines and they got absorbed into some kind of like like something more mystic that's like still grounded on planet Earth, but what might be interpreted as mysticism by a white culture. Yeah. I thought we were going to maybe get sucked into that. And in a way, I was really thankful that the second half is much more about you're never going to get the answer.
Yeah.
So come back to Earth and deal with it.
And watch what happens to the community.
That's the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it just ended up destroying everybody that was directly involved. Everyone kind of had some kind of deconstruction, which I thought was like really interesting.
I don't know if we needed so many people to kill themselves at the end, but I will say it was really powerful to have the roommate, the girl that found out that we share parents. Also, the scene with the ballet bar like hanging from the ceiling, the kids. Yeah. It's very strange and unique. But like that girl, that obviously was very sobering. And then, as you mentioned before, the headmistress,
the ballet barn.
The ballet barn, yeah. The headmistress, just that note that basically said they found her body at the end too. Because we didn't see a lot of like the town and everything, but we knew that the enrollment numbers were down.
The really funny thing is
in Victoria,
the finding of her body and what actually happened to her is outlined in chapter 18.
Oh,
yeah.
Did you read this book when you were younger, Dave?
Yeah.
Did you play the pan flute while you read it?
I did. They didn't have the chapter at that point. It was the chapter wasn't put until it wasn't even released till 87, I think it was.
And so I looked it up online, and it seems like that chapter definitively tells you that something supernatural happened to the girls.
It kind of does hint a little bit like there was supernatural, yeah.
That they literally step across like a time warp and they're in reality, like Edwardian England.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
they outlanded it. Yeah.
I got some Outlander vibes. Exactly. we got some Outlander vibes.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Before it was cool.
I think Mrs. Appleyard, it's a shame she didn't make it to the precipice because I think she would have done well in Edwardian England.
You know the thing that was really cool, and this is a really fucking classy move, that basically the first person who had the rights to this story was a 13-year-old kid. He was sold the rights to make the book into a film for like an assignment or something. And he started making it, and it's a short. And so if you get the DVD, the short is on the fucking DVD that this 13-year-old kid made.
That's so cool.
With Peter Weir's film.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
Like that's a fucking classy move.
All right, boys. Well, I get, you know what? Believe it or not, it's already time to wind this down.
It really is.
Pretty damn good review. It makes me interested in seeing more. And honestly, though, you know what? I really want to see Walkabout next. That's what I want to see next.
That movie is awesome. You should definitely watch that. Brutal film.
And while we're at it, why not maybe in the future when it comes up, add some more Peter Weirs? I mean, I just saw our sister podcast, the Matt and Mark Movie Show. Matt just got a steelbook of Master and Commander.
Yeah,
that
finally.
apparently was broken.
Yeah. Guys, how many times have I asked you to do that fucking movie? Every time we come to, what is it, 2003?
We were ready to we were ready to do it. We did it recently. Anyway, okay. So, and of course, we've already done Dead Poets Society in the past. And we did Witness. So we've got a couple Peter Weirs here in the mix. But
big fan.
But people, we have to move it on. So we're going to spin the wheel now to find out what year our next movie is going to be from. But we're not
anyone want to guess, or you want me to just push it?
91.
88.
Here we go.
2000s. Uh-oh. 201. 8.
All right,
somewhat recent, 2018. All right.
Cool.
Like I said, we're not going to sit here and Google movies. We're going to tell you at the end of this episode, after a little break, what we're going to be talking about next week. Dave, we'd like to start with you with our final segment. What you've been watching? What have you been watching?
Well, I finally saw Sinners. Yes.
What'd you think?
Damn, that was good. Like, I'm pissed I missed it in IMAX. Because I just could not get into a screening. It was sold out in New York. Like, full. Yeah. And so, yeah, if they ever re-release it, I might go and experience it in IMAX because the shots that were in IMAX came out in IMAX on, like, the TV. And I was like, I want to see that 3 fucking stories tall. It was a really fucking good movie. Really good. I enjoyed it. Well made. Yeah. Had a lot to say. And last night I finally got onto Quiet Place Day 1, which is the third.
Horror kick, Dave. A horror kick for you. You never do that.
Yeah. No, it's usually my wife's influence. She's like, I want to watch that. I'll hold your hand. Like, she's doing that shit to me now. So I get shamed into watching these fucking things. So
I talked about that on Matt and Mark. You got to hear us talk about how, where does that rank in our favorite movie cats?
Oh, yeah. That cat was 2 cats.
The cat was the shit. That cat was such a cool cat.
It was a cool cat.
You like the movie?
I love the movie. I thought it was great. Cool. To be honest, I was kind of hoping they'd make the third in the series first before they went back. But you know what? I'm glad they did because I liked some of the stuff they set up in the second one. And I wanted to see more of that, like what society was turning into.
And they had... is it Lupita Nyong'o? Is that who it was? Mm-hmm. They had her available, and they had a cat named Frodo, and they just said, "Fuck it, let's ride."
Yeah,
they're making the third one now.
Good. Yeah. She was so good. And John's back.
Anything else?
That was it for now.
Okay, I watched a bunch, so I'm just going to reel them off because most of them were worth watching. I finally watched To Be or Not to Be, one of those old Ernst Lubitsch films. We did The Shop Around the Corner, and we all really liked it. Yeah. God damn it. Everybody should put it on the top of their list. It was so enjoyable. A theater troupe in Warsaw infiltrates the German Nazi occupation to overthrow Hitler. Good. It's so funny. It's so clever. Stakes are high. I watched Nobody for the first time. Because Nobody 2 is coming out. Holy shit. That was fun and awesome.
Okay.
I watched Taken after... Naked Gun. We watched that.
Dude,
actually, watched that after Nobody. We watched Nobody and then Taken.
I love the Deadpool reference to Taken, where he's like, they've made 3 of those Taken movies. At some point, you got to acknowledge he's a bad father.
Yeah. There's something wrong here. I watched number 5 out of the 7 movies in the Thin Man saga. Remember how we talked about how many of those there were?
Right to number 5, huh?
Well, I was just like, what's for free right now? Still really enjoyable. I watched The Thin Man Goes Home. I watched Wine Country, that movie with the hilarious ladies from SNL, Amy Poehler, Tina Fey, Maya Rudolph, Anna Gasteyer, and 2 of the writers from their SNL
they just put the
generation.
whole,
I wish I could remember their names.
The whole past of SNL. Just come here.
Yeah, it was fun. It was funny. And then I watched Casino. Really awesome Scorsese rewatch. Damn. And then Elizabeth and I just caught up because we didn't see season 1, and I enjoyed the show, and we watched all of it and caught up to the recent episodes of Platonic, that show with Rose Byrne and Seth Rogen on Apple TV+. I think if you're in the mood for that kind of thing, you're going to have a lot of fun.
Oh,
Jeff?
Nice. Oh, also, just quickly, I'm 4 episodes into Wednesday.
Oh, fuck. I meant to download it before my
That's as
plane
many
ride.
as they've made that get released in this block. The next block coming out in September.
Really good marketing at the airport, by the way.
Really good
Their
marketing
marketing's all over
everywhere.
the
They're
airport.
nailing that shit.
The Sunset
airport
Boulevard.
is really good.
It's crazy what they're doing.
They're
on
like
there,
jet lag, my favorite kind of torture. With some kind of bag, like my emotional baggage is my carry-on or something like that. Like, they're just like
Wow.
really good marketing all over
Christ.
the airport. Okay. I watched the Billy Joel 2-part documentary. I fucking destroyed it. I didn't mean to one night. It was really solid, especially if you're a Billy Joel fan. God, his melody writing. Say whatever the fuck. People always talk shit about it. He's like, God, his melody writing. And come on, everybody likes him. So shut the fuck up and stop pretending like he's not awesome. I feel like there was another show that I watched a bit of. Angela's watching The Summer I Turned Pretty, which is a huge hit for the younger people. And so I validate that, although it's not for me. It's not my kind of show. Okay, my 5 movies. So the first one I went with was actually The Accountant 2, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really fun. I had a fucking blast.
You made the end.
And I love John Barenthal.
Great.
It was really, 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 really cool. And then I have to say, I really, really liked the beginning of Black Bag. I just was so tired, and I was flying across country, so I fell asleep. So that technically, it's sort of a half-assed one. I'm going to come back to it, but it's really, really good. I like Michael Fassbender a lot, and of course, Cate Blanchett. I just didn't make it to the end. And then I started Thunderbolts, and I finished it on my second plane ride, and it's totally fine. I get it. It's totally cool. I'm still that person that's like, I don't know why comic book culture had to become mainstream culture. I don't know why I need to care about every single movie that comes out that's in this world that I don't care about. And I still feel like they're experimenting in real time. But all things considered, I had a perfectly great time at watching Thunderbolts. I thought it was really, really fun. And then Minecraft movie. It's like a 90-minute movie. I mean, it had some really good ideas and really good swings. And then it was like, okay, it's a kids movie. We can have this Jennifer Coolidge story and just
It's a fucking 90-minute voiceover.
Fine. I get it. It's, but it's for kids. And yeah, Jennifer Coolidge goes on it. She's the principal at the school, then goes on a date with this guy and then just disappears. It's like obviously they're just like, fuck it, guys. There are some parts where they're like, guys, fuck it. It's a Minecraft movie. It's for kids. But the casting is really good. Jack Black's really good. Emma Myers, who's one of the biggest things now, thanks to Wednesday, is really good. But Jason Momoa is great. Good shot. Way to shoot your shot, Jason Momoa. Good for you. And the other kid's good too. Nice. And then okay, Mickey 17. Look, I was on a plane, I admit it, but like the first 10 minutes is just not interesting to me. So I bet you there's really good sci-fi there, but I was like, man, you have to get me. You have to get me in that first 10, 15 minutes. You have to give me something interesting. And I was like, man, there's nothing in this first 10 minutes that's interesting right now. I get it that he's a replicant. I get it that they're testing out, go out in space and then we're going to watch you die. But I get it. And it just did not do it for me. So that first 10 to 15 minutes, maybe I'll give it another shot, but it was just not interesting for me. And I'm sure the rest of the movie, sure the rest of the movie's great. I'm sure there's great shit, but man, that was a tough start. Okay.
All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to pick our movie. We're going to come right back. All right, and we're back.
And we're back, guys. One of the quickest decisions we've ever made.
Quickest decision.
We are going to be doing, from 2018, Annihilation.
Oh, yeah.
Annihilation.
Yeah.
This is directed by Alex Garland. It stars Natalie Portman, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Gina Rodriguez, Tessa Thompson. Awesome. John and I saw it in theaters. I don't really remember it. Dave owns this movie. I can't wait to talk about it. It's on Paramount Plus and it's on Prime. One of those is probably a lie, but that's what Google says. Anything else you want to say to hype this movie up before next week, fellas?
That was awesome. Go watch Picnic at Hanging Rock.
You do that too. Also on Max. All right. See you next time.
Peace.